In this video, I'm gonna tell y'all about my reasons for refusal and how I solved them with my whole immigration process coming to Canada as an international student and all. Y'all know the vibe, you know what I'm saying? Yours truly, from Nathan. Hey, what's up guys? It's your boy King Nate, back here with another video. This is from Nathan's channel. I'm gonna tell y'all how I personally fixed my reasons for refusal. I don't know, maybe I can give y'all some perspective so that y'all can fix your guys' reason for refusal. Always remember though, this is just based on my experience. This is me telling my story on what happened with me. This is in no way, shape or form legal advice and should not be thought of as such. You know what I'm saying? So let me just drop that disclaimer really quickly. This was highly requested, so let's get into it. You know what I'm saying? As I told y'all previously, I had received 2 refusals, right? I received a refusal in September and I received another refusal in October, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna show y'all that because I still have access to it even now. So even if it's not on my desktop system, I know I still have access to it. So I'm gonna put it up on the screen, either here or here. I'm not sure where, but somewhere up here. Just look for it. I'm gonna post it right here. I don't even have to show y'all both versions because they literally say the exact same thing. It's like they just copied and pasted it and changed the date. I'm not even joking. You can't make this up, you know what I'm saying? So that's what happened. But my reasons for refusal were that the officer didn't believe that I would return at the end of my stay based on, you know, some form of policy that they have, which honestly that's like loaded dice to me personally, because that specific reason for refusal, it can be founded in the sense that it can be a reason for refusal that has many other reasons attached to it. So it's a very vague reason for refusal, but trust me, there's a lot under the surface, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's deeper than the surface, like what Drake said. Y'all know what it is. My other reason for refusal was lack of sufficient funds, you know what I mean? And so I'm gonna get into the very first reason for refusal, which was that the officer didn't believe that I'd return at the end of my stay because of my financial situation, which, as I just told y'all, has more attached to it. So they didn't tell me that, but I had to use my brain to figure out what was going on, you know what I'm saying? So I figured out that that was also attached to lack of sufficient ties to my home country. So what I did about that initially was, you know, we go, my financial supporters, because I have financial supporters, right? So my financial supporters had initially showed like 300,000 Jamaican in their account. So we had to boost that up with a loan of like 500,000. So that was increased all the way up to 800,000 Jamaican. And being all the way up at 800,000 Jamaican now, we also did other stuff to boost the amount. Like, you know, take personal loans from friends at the side, but those type of loans, we didn't spend them. That's an idea for y'all, you know what I'm saying? Like, I told y'all, I'm not here to gatekeep, bro. Y'all just gotta use y'all brain, man. But I use mine. Me using mine, I can help y'all out, I suppose, you know what I mean? But what we did, and that's essentially what I mean by that is, say that y'all can find someone that's got it like that. Maybe they don't, but they have the funds, you know what I mean? Take the funds from them, dip it into some account that you can show as either connected to you, where the person is willing to spend that money on you, or it belongs to you. You know what I'm saying? But you gotta do it smart, meaning that you can't just dip all the money into the account one time. You gotta do it little in increments. So if it's like $1,000, you gotta be able to split that $1,000 between, I don't know, like 4 payments of 2,500 each. 4 payments of 2,500 each.
Say what?
Nah. Whoa. See, what I meant was 4 payments of $250 each to make 1,000. Please don't judge me. Please. Hopefully my math isn't wonky, I don't know, but y'all get the idea, you know what I mean? Just don't do it all at once. That's my point, you know what I mean? So that's what we did. We got some funds from a family friend dipped it into the account, boost up our funds, and just like that, we had more money. Additionally, you guys gotta be careful with having financial supporters because these people scrutinize a lot. They pay very close attention. So, not because someone makes a lot of money or they have a very high income doesn't mean that they have a very high keep in the end. You know what I mean? That's not the right term for it, but that's just what I can remember now. So let me just explain myself so that y'all are caught up to speed. Someone can make a lot of money, but by the end of the month, they only keep a little bit of it because of obligations, bills, and so on and so forth. You know what I mean? So that's very important. So yes, it matters how much the person makes so that the visa officer, maybe they might decide to investigate how the person has enough money. As long as they acquire their money by legal means, and that's pretty obvious because of their income, then that's okay, that's good, you know what I mean? But if by the end of the month the person is losing too much of that money that they're making, that's a problem because the visa officer can consider the fact that yes, they're making enough, but they're not keeping enough by the end of the month to support you. So it just don't make any sense, you know what I mean? Like, how is this person gonna support such and such if by the end of the month they only keep like 5 to 10% of their total income, you know what I mean? So that was also another problem with my application, to where all of my financial, because you can have more than one financial supporter. In my initial application, they was making enough, but they were not keeping enough by any means. I had to remove some of my financial supporters, specifically the ones that were not keeping enough by the end of the month, because it didn't make any sense. It really didn't. That's even something that I could have figured out on my own if I was considering that. But as I've said before in previous videos, I had to navigate rough waters on my own. It was a learning curve. Stuff happened, you know what I mean? Also, another reason for refusal that was not stated but I was able to figure out was that I just took a lump sum of money and just dipped it into my account, right? So because of that, it was obvious that it was some type of loan or that it didn't belong to me. You know what I mean? So because I did that sometime in September, like late September, and then I applied like late October, not enough time had passed because at least in Jamaica, there's no way that you're gonna get a new bank statement that fast. You know what I mean? So I had to be using the same bank statements from the previous application. You know what I mean? So that was also another reason, which is why I recommend to y'all, do not do that, man. Do it in increments. That's why I'm telling y'all. So anything that I tell y'all is because I know that that's a smart thing to do. You know what I'm saying? So, yo, that's just what it is. That's all we did the first time around. And as I just told y'all, I received 2 refusals. So that wasn't enough. I received the same exact letter again, which I'm gonna put here or here. You know what I'm saying? Just look out for that. So when that happened, I was confused, but what I did about it is that, at this point, I added every amount of funds that I could find. There was no more money to put, bro. So I'm like, okay, what else can I change? What else can I improve on this thing so that it can work? You know what I mean? So what I did after that is I revised my SOP. You know what I'm saying? That's even how I came to figure out that the reason for refusal was vague, and there were more reasons attached to it that they just didn't mention. You know what I mean? You just have to use your brain to figure that out. So when I had figured that out, what I did was I revised my entire SOP. I revised my entire SOP. I changed it up. I had so much to it. I basically had to convince these people, like, yeah, man, like, come on, guys, I'm being genuine. You know what I mean? I'm gonna leave, don't worry about it. This, that. That's what I had to do. So what I did was I added reasons. I literally gave them specific, detailed reasons as to why I am not a threat in terms of like running off. You know what I mean? One of the major ones was the fact that my program does not offer PGWP, which I had indicated and highlighted the fact that that's a major pull factor for people who are interested in staying. You know what I mean? Also had to highlight other stuff like the fact that my family is getting elderly, gotta take care of them, You know what I mean? It's gonna be hard to do that from across the world, and that's the essential points. I revised my SOP, and I thought about my particular circumstances and my particular situation, and I gave specific and detailed reasons as to why I'm not a threat to them and why I can just come, do my studies, and I should leave. But because I had received 2 refusals, I went even an extra mile. You know what I mean? So another thing that I did was I added a job letter. You know what I mean? So the job letter was an additional tie to my home country to say, okay, well, I mean, I already have a job, so clearly at the end of my studies, I would like to return to my home country so I can go get my job done, because I already have secured a job. You know what I mean? And then that job, being that I'll have like a good qualification, I can make a lot of money in that. You know what I mean? So that was another reason for me to come back to my home country. Now, some of y'all might be wondering, how did you even get a job letter that quickly in like what, 1 month, 2 months? Because you said you received your first refusal in September and another one in October, right? So how did you even get a job letter that quickly? So that was just based on who I knew, to be honest. I have this family friend that is an entrepreneur. You know what I'm saying? Not family friend, my bad. I have this family that is an entrepreneur, you know what I mean? Has a small business, is able to employ about 2 to 3 people. So went to that person and I was like, I mean, could you write me a job letter, please? You know what I mean? Write me a job letter, please. Make sure that you sign it, that's so that it's notarized. It's a really simple letter, nothing complicated. Anybody could write it. But what's gonna really solidify it and make it able to be used is your signature, because that makes it like legal and notarized, as I said previously, right? So fortunately, the person agreed to do it for me, did it for me, got it, and I added it to my application, and that was pretty much it. So for a quick recap, so I added a job letter. I'm talking about the last time I applied or now, right? Which was in November. So yeah, I got refused for the last time in October, and then I applied again November the 11th, right? So when I did that, the new documents that were there were job letter, same amount of funds from the second refusal, because as I told you, I didn't have any more, but more money, job letter, and I refused my SOP. So those were the main things that I did to make sure that I got approved. About roughly a month later, I don't know, y'all could check it and tell me, man. So I applied on November the 11th and I got accepted or approved December the 22nd. You know what I'm saying? So that's what happened, and that's it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm finna sign off because that's all there is to it. If y'all have any more specific questions, as I keep telling y'all, just request it, I'll drop something. You know what I'm saying? Don't be afraid to ask. Reach out to me on social media. I have several platforms. Y'all can reach out to me on email, Instagram, TikTok. I'm most active on TikTok. If you reach out to me on Instagram, honestly, you might not get me. Or if you do, it might be like at a late point in time, because like your boy busy. And I honestly don't get my Instagram notifications like that. So if you text me on TikTok, I'll most likely see it. If you text my Instagram, probably won't see it, but you can still try that. Try every avenue, you know what I mean? So yeah, thanks for y'all support. Thanks for being here for yet another video. In this video, I spoke about, you know, my reasons for my visa rejections, how I solved them. That's what I did. Hopefully this can help y'all out. Have a good day. You know what I'm saying? See y'all later.